And then on a worker level, for example, in addition to benefits that have increased, now we have a whole new process of transforming companies and creating new worker-run companies. So that, for example, there are a lot of companies in Venezuela in recent years that have been nationalized or expropriated by the government because of their own criminal activity or violations of law, not paying taxes or hoarding products, speculation, all kinds of things. Any company that has been nationalized or expropriated by the government is being turned into a worker-run company. And for example, there was a supermarket chain last year that was nationalized because they were engaging in illegal activities regarding their prices and their products. So what took place was that the workers weren't all fired, the ones that had worked there for years. No, they were reincorporated into the new, publicly run company, or socially run, as we call them, socially run enterprises, and now they're the ones running it and owning it. And so in every one of these different companies, they develop educational programs. They want to make sure you have access to continuing education. Have you gotten your university degree? You can if you want to. I mean, things like that. The transforming companies into based on a new model that's looking out also for the well-being of the workers and making sure that they feel as though they're the ones, not only working there, but also benefiting from their own company. And they're the ones responsible for the future of their company. So they have more investment in it on a personal and a social level, on a human level.
We're speaking with Eva Golinger. She's the author of, among other things, the Chavez Code, an investigation into the U.S. internal involvement to destroy the government of Hugo Chavez. Kinds of things happen that help us understand who this person really is.
Well, he is an extremely humble person and very natural and spontaneous, very honest and sincere. And just you see that in his interactions with people around the world and his ability to connect to everybody and to not, there's no protocol, there's no, he doesn't have any sort of intention to try to dominate or control or manipulate anybody. In terms of his just human-to-human interactions. In events, for example, where he's like a presidential event where there are people there in the audience, if someone raises their hand or stands up and it's not in the protocol, he doesn't ignore that. In fact, he invites that, and so then he likes to engage in a non-planned interaction or dialogue with people. I mean, that's actually the regular way that he operates in Venezuela. And so that's something, that's part of this revolution, is giving people voices and making people feel more you're on an equal level. I mean, there's no protocol going on. He breaks free of that all the time. He can't stand that, being confined by the way that some say you should operate, which is, it causes some problems for him in public opinion, because he's somebody who doesn't believe that he should be limited to acting a certain way just because he's the head of state, that he also has the right to have his opinions and to say them and express them in whatever forum he wants to. And so, that can, some people react differently to that. He can be very frank about those opinions, doesn't hide it, doesn't read a teleprompter ever, never. There aren't teleprompters politically in Venezuela, doesn't have speeches written for him. It's all spontaneous, it's all honest, it's all coming from his own heart. And it's his biggest weakness, it's his biggest strength, is his heart. The fact that he loves so much and opens up so much to the people and forgives so much and has such good faith, that it's also a weakness in the sense that, oftentimes he's betrayed, or he's so willing to try to help everybody, and that's not always the best policy. Is if someone, a woman comes up, a poor woman, babies, and says, I don't have a home, I need a home, he says, we're going to get you a home, we'll get a house for you. He's an extraordinary leader, incredibly charismatic, has a giant personality, which also creates this image around the world that he's this strong man, and dictator, whatever, but nothing of a dictator at all.
And what about the role he plays now behind the scenes in the context of this Bolivarian revolution? Is he a leader among leaders in this context?
Well, he's a very strong and powerful leader. But I think what's happening is through this transformation, this revolution, there's a new generation growing up in a whole different environment that's been empowered and is participating actively in the construction of their new nation and, this new model. And so there will be millions of leaders. And that people now that were invisible before are now visible and feel as though their voice counts because they see it manifested every day in their daily lives, and that will transform the country. And I mean, to me, that's the true revolution that's taking place in Venezuela.
All right. We've been speaking with Eva Golinger. You can meet her tomorrow night at the Mission Cultural Center for Latino Arts in the Mission, and that's at 2868 Mission Street between 24th and 25th.
7 p.m.
7
Please
p.m.
come. It'll be interesting.
I'm sure it will be interesting. Eva Golinger is the winner of the International Award for Journalism in Mexico, author of a number of books, including the Chavez Code.
And I'm a lawyer.
And she's a lawyer, that's right. That's how she stays out of trouble. Thank you for coming.
Try.
Actually, you don't always stay out of trouble, but it's good trouble. Yeah. And we appreciate your willingness to come see us, and also the regular reports that you give us from Caracas.
Yes.
Our audience.
And I appreciate the space that you guys give to us to express our voice from Venezuela and let the world know what's happening.
Well, it's our honor. We're going to take a musical break. Affiliates are going to hear some more of the south of the border. We're going to come back locally to ask you to help us keep doing this work. Stay with us, please.